Hello everybody, my name is Patrick. You're watching Patchworks, the only channel where you can see me, Patrick, spastically try to do normal things that people have been doing for thousands of years. Today, we are going to be pickling some cucumbers. Hopefully. Attempting to. Maybe. We have a bunch of cucumbers here that we picked from our garden. Go ahead and watch this video linked right here if you want to see that, or right here. I don't know which side YouTube does it on. We have two different types of pickles here. We have a pickling cucumber and then a burpless hybrid cucumber. We have just an obscene amount, and we're going to be trying to make two different types of cucumbers today. We are doing a bread and butter pickle and a dill pickle. Let's get started. First off, which gives me time to go do whatever the hell I want, we need to brine these pickles in a salt water bath. So first and foremost, we are just going to be cutting these cucumbers. We already washed them. They've been in the fridge because they've been in there for like a few days, maybe 2-3 days. You don't want them to, start to get soft and mushy. We're just going to slice these and let them start soaking, and we'll come back in 2 hours, start the actual brine they're going to be pickling in. If you soak them in salt water ahead of time, it helps to keep them crispier, apparently. I don't know. This is my first time doing it. I just, listen to whatever people write on the internet. They're always right? Like me. This is a pickling cucumber. This is a burpless hybrid. Now, I think I left these pickling cucumbers way too long on the vine. I think this is probably closer to what you want. Not this. The seeds get really big and they get less flavorful, but we're gonna be pickling them, so does it really matter? Maybe to someone better than me. We're gonna be cutting these pickles again in two different ways as well. The way God intended is long ways, so they lay perfectly on a sandwich, because how else do you eat pickles, as opposed to just little circles, which we're gonna be making as well. Maybe? Actually, screw it. We're not making any circles. Screw you circle-loving pickle eaters, all right? We're just doing the slices. I don't know the name of it. Let me know in the comments below what you call that. And I have two different bowls. Smaller bowl for the burpless hybrid, because we just have less of them by volume, maybe. And bigger bowl for the pickling cucumbers. And I don't really think it matters. The recipe for one of these is like 2 gallons of water. I'm not doing that. If they don't fit in this, I'm gonna fill this with water and salt. I'm just gonna call it there. Why? But no thank you. Sitting down here, just one guy, and I'm having a good time. Having a good time with pickles? That doesn't sound great. Hybrid, pickle, butt ends. And let's go grab a jar so I know how tall I can cut these. Damn it, that's not very tall. In half, maybe, I guess? We're using ball jars to can because those WEC jars are too expensive. I'm not making WEC jar kind of money because you guys haven't liked and subscribed yet. So like and subscribe so I can afford those expensive ass WEC jars. All right? Ball was actually manufacturing ammunition shells and machine parts during World War II for America. So pretty patriotic. And WEC is a German company. So what do you think they were doing during World War II? All right, let's think about that. They were making jars. They were actually one of the only companies that didn't change to wartime efforts. They were making jars for food rationing and for the army as well, but I'd say that's pretty good for all the other German companies during World War II. Oh, and I am not cutting these well, let me tell you that. I should be using a mandolin, maybe? I don't have WEC jar money, but do I have mandolin money? Maybe. Like, this is good burger width, right? Burger width. Boom. I think I'm supposed to cut the flower ends off. I'm supposed to cut both ends off. Oh, I did. Haha, look at that. Well, this thing's wild, all right? Really? Really? Bloop. That is not usable. I want to cut towards your fingers, boys and girls. And if you guys are wondering, oh, that's a pretty table. Where'd you get that? I made it. Let's go and watch that video. Alright? And I don't think you guys want to watch me cut 30 pickles, so clap transition. Welcome back. Did I way underestimate the amount of cucumbers that we had today? Yes. Did I underestimate the amount of jars I needed for this today? Probably. That's why I need sponsors, Ball or Weck. Literally whoever wants to sponsor me, I will be your paid shill. I will say anything and everything you need me to say. All my morals will go out the window for the slightest bit of money. Please sponsor me. I will say anything. We're gonna need a different pot for these cucumbers to soak in, and cutting these open, some of these pickled cucumbers were way too big. And from what I hear, they're a lot less good when they get that big. Their seeds are massive. I had to cut out some, so I didn't have a lot of meat on some of them. But they're gonna be soaked in vinegar and seasoning. So, I mean, does that really matter? I don't know. We'll find out in a few weeks when I can finally eat these. Will this work when I pour the water in? I don't know. I think this one's big enough. Cucumber sacrifice to the doggy. Come here. Up, up. Yeah. Eat that. Eat, my child. I forgot. I need onions, and I need to brine the onions for the bread and butter pickles as well. Now, these are onions that we harvested this year from our garden. Go ahead and watch that video of us harvesting the onions up top, and I'll have it linked in the description below. So these are not fully finished curing, but this is halfway through curing, a little dried out. And we are going to slice and peel these. I don't know if I said this, but this is just the first of many pickling and jarring videos. So go ahead and tag Ball and Weck so that we can get more jars, because we have a whole bunch of stuff we're going to be trying to preserve this summer. Otherwise, I spent all this time and money for nothing. Cut it this way as opposed to this way. Should have washed these off better, but I'll rinse them after we brine them. Now it said for 3 pounds of cucumbers, you want a pound of onions. I don't think we have that quite. It's okay. Everything's okay. You guys gotta try to have fun with this stuff, right? Don't question it too much. Oh my god, my eyes are burning. I forgot to press record. Sorry, but we're using canning salt. Apparently, the only difference between canning salt and like normal table salt is canning salt has a more uniform fine grain, and it doesn't have any of the extra preservatives, which normal table salt, I guess, can. I don't know, it doesn't matter. I don't know the difference, would you? Probably not. So, it said a 1/4 cup of canning salt per 2 quarts of water. I can't do math. I did 3/4 in here, 1/2 cup in here, 1/4 in there. We're gonna top it off with water, throw some ice cubes in it, let it soak for the next 3 hours, and come back, see how it does. Stop looking at my messy sink, guys, right? I didn't think I'd be filming this. Cut it out. I'm gonna throw some ice cubes on top as well, because this water comes out like disturbingly warm. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, get in there, salt. I don't know what I'm doing. Ah. So one recipe said 3 hours, one recipe said 12 hours. Ain't nobody got time for 12 hours of soaking, so we're doing 3 hours. All right, we're gonna let these soak. I'll see you guys in 2 hours when we start the brine. So hopefully it'll be ready in 3 hours when these are. See you in a bit. All right, we're back. And to the surprise of no one, it has been much longer than 2 to 3 hours. It has been closer to 7 hours. That's fine. They've been soaking in the salt brine. I went ahead and dumped out the brine, washed them, same to the onions. I also added in a jar of peppers to a salt brine of its own, because I want to be adding these to the bread and butter pickles. I just really like spicy stuff. I washed all of my jars I'm going to be using for this first recipe, and they are in this canning pot. It's really just a large pressure cooker, boiling over, and once they get to a simmer, we're going to leave them there for 10 minutes. Once that starts to boil, I'm going to start cooking the brine, the actual brine the pickles are going to be sitting in, because that only has to come to a boil, and once that happens, we're going to add in all of our stuff and then re-bring it to a boil. And then we're just gonna be adding it into the hot jars and then putting them back in, boiling for another 10 minutes. So while that's getting up to a simmer, we're gonna start simmering our pickling brine. And this takes an obscene amount of apple cider vinegar. Now we're using my very own homemade, organic, better than you, super duper healthy special apple cider vinegar. I did not buy this at ShopRite. Not sponsored. Now here's the question you're all asking yourselves. Am I better than you because I'm making my own pickles instead of buying them from the store? Yes, but that is just one on a very large list of why I am better than you. We're making double the recipe that I'm using, so we need 6 cups of apple cider vinegar. I'm using 2 totally separate pickle recipes, different flavors, and the actual pickling process is totally different. So there's 1,000 ways to make a pickle, apparently. 1,000 ways to skin a cat, 10,000 ways to make a pickle, maybe. I don't know. This is the way I'm doing, I guess. I'm literally just using one of the first few recipes I found on Google. Yeah, buddy. Whole mustard seeds. This is one of those things that I have so much of in my drawer because anytime a recipe calls for it, I'm like, there's no way I have this at home. And I have a lot at home. And we're doing 2 teaspoons of celery seeds. It's just wild. What else do you use celery seeds for? Okay, that's a lot of celery seeds. And 2 teaspoons of turmeric. Boop, boop, boop. Can you taste turmeric? I can't. And then we need a teaspoon of whole peppercorns. Here's my question. I got like 12 jars going. Maybe I don't need 12 jars for this. You're telling me a teaspoon of peppercorns is gonna get into 12 jars? I think so. I also way overestimated how many peppercorns I was gonna need. Don't tell my wife why I panic called to go get them. All right, so we are going to bring this to a boil. We just have to get it to a boil, and once it starts boiling, we throw in our cucumbers. Now I gotta be honest guys, this does not seem like enough liquid for all those cucumbers, but maybe it is? So the recipe said this needs to come to a low rumble, and it's kind of that. It said at least 180 degrees, which this water is at 180 degrees. So Alexa, set the timer for 10 minutes. Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes.
Good evening, Patrick. 10 minutes, starting now.
That's how it's done. And we're gonna get this back up to a boiler. We're gonna bring it up to a simmer. And then we're going to throw in our cucumbers and onions and jalapenos. Now this could turn out to be stupid hot. I have a whole bunch of jalapenos, cayenne, and then there was something like, not choco taco, but choco de something that a friend gave us from their garden. And those are like stupid hot. Yeah, buddy. So this is rumbling. We're gonna start adding these cucumbers to it. And my wife made a very good point that the bread and butter pickles have a crap ton of sugar in them, so you have to pickle them more thoroughly as opposed to the dill pickles, which have no sugar in them. You don't need to be as cautious apparently, because the second recipe is a whole lot easier and a whole lot more laid back. I would say I need a little bit more brine on that. So top this off. Now a little bit more sugar on that as well. While we're waiting, we can actually pack the other pickles because these are going to be cold packed. So each of these are going to get 2 cloves of garlic. These are frozen cloves because we bought them peeled. Because why would I peel them myself if I don't have to? Then is that a tablespoon of dill and half a tablespoon of flour? What the hell is that? I'm just going to do that in each of them, right? I mean, dill's the main thing. I'm a hefty amount in each, but how am I supposed to measure this out? Dried dill? They think I don't have live dill money? The timer's up to the jars, but we still have to wait for the brine to come back to a boil. So that might take a little bit. Where am I supposed to buy dill flour? What the hell is that? Boop, 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 boop. Half an inch on top, it says. Can you believe my wife had the audacity to ask if I made any discs? I didn't even realize why I'm married. So this is hot. I'm gonna start adding this to it, I guess. That turmeric really dyed these bright, like neon yellow. That's crazy. Put these jars back in here. Hopefully none of them burst. How? Oh, I'm an idiot. That's how, because they were open originally and now they're closed. Water displacement is a thing. And this last one, we gotta bring that back up to a rolling boil and let that go for 10 minutes. Then we can shut it off and these should be done. So while we were transferring that, this still needs to come to a boil. Once it does, we let it cool down for a little bit and then we pour it right over our pickles, hand tight. These should be done. We're gonna do the old switcheroo. Bada bing, bada boom. Monkey's your uncle? Is that a saying? All right, this white vinegar, water, and salt solution is boiling pretty vigorously, so I'm gonna turn it off, let it cool for a minute, then I'm gonna pour it over my other pickles and wait for these to be done. All right, well that took forever to start boiling again. The fan turned back on. Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes. While we're waiting for that, the white vinegar, water, salt solution is cooling down. By the time this is done, we should be able to pour this into the cans and get this water boiling again. So it has been 10 minutes for these. We're gonna do the old switcheroo. We're gonna take these out. Come on. I don't wanna burn my hand. Yeah. So I did try some of this that was left in the brine. Are they going to preserve? I think so. Are they edible in terms of flavor? Maybe not. I think I added too much salt to that salt bath we did. The bread and butter pickles are very salty. So those gotta cool down and hopefully the top snap, which means that they're sealed. Now those, it says to wait at least 4 weeks to eat them. These ones, it says wait 2 weeks. So let's go ahead and pour this brine. Oh, and I poured too much. Gonna have to dip that out. Now listen, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Maybe I just can't convert quarts and cups and crap like that. But it said for 4 quarts, I have so much of this damn brine left over. What the hell am I doing? I have 1.5 liters left. It only took it was up to 3 liters. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Whatever. Now we're just removing air bubbles. And clearly I have a lot of improvement to make on my cooking content because I don't know what the hell I'm doing here. You guys are looking at my back this whole video. I'm gonna get myself an island so we can face each other. Look at the eyes. You ever look in the eyes of a man before you kill him? Ow, I'm burning myself over here. This is an all-day thing and I really didn't expect it to be. I don't like it that much. Poke all these pickles down and let's drop them down. Once that comes back up to a boil, we're gonna let that go for another 10 minutes. We started this at 9:30 this morning, just about. It is 9:16 p.m. now. Granted, there was a long break in the middle, but this was terrible. I didn't enjoy this at all. Hopefully it made for an entertaining video. Well, all the cans are officially out. I'll check back in with you guys in the morning to see whether or not these have sealed. They'll actually be shelf stable. See you in a few. Well, that is it for today's video. We have our 2 types of pickles. This one turned out to be like neon yellow. That's a little scary. And this is our dill pickle, bread and butter. Are these gonna be edible? I don't know. Did I oversalt them? Yes. Did they seal properly? I think so. Did it take me 12 hours to finish it? Yes. Was it a terrible experience? Yes. Will it make for an entertaining video? Lord baby Jesus, I hope so. So if you liked what you saw, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.